The Nexus 6P was Google's pride and joy for their mobile phones, being a very powerful, beautiful solution for many Android users. However, upon the release of the Google Pixel, the Nexus was removed from its throne. Did the Pixel make the Nexus 6P obsolete? Let's find out. The exterior is incredibly sturdy, with an aluminum casing that looks and feels great. The phone itself is very thin, and surprisingly light for the size. On the front of the phone, you have a 2560 by 1440 AMOLED resolution display with two front-facing stereo speakers and an 8-megapixel camera. On the back, we have the aluminum casing with a gorgeous Nexus logo, along with a 12.3-megapixel camera and a fingerprint scanner, which by the way is very responsive and vibrates when it scans your fingerprint. Nice touch. The display, as mentioned earlier, is 2560 by 1440 AMOLED display with beautiful color reproduction. This is the ideal screen for content consumption and even gaming. On the right of the phone, there's a volume rocker and a textured sleep-wake button that is very easy to grip. The phone features some very serious specs. This phone comes with an Android 7.0 Nougat operating system, Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 processor, an Adreno 430 GPU, 3GB of system memory, and in storage 128GB. The speakers are about my favorite feature about this device. It's a stereo setup with a speaker on the bottom and the top bezels and get very loud. Probably one of my favorite phone speakers. The camera is one of the Nexus 6P's strongest selling points, even taking the rest of the phone into consideration. The rear-facing 12.3-megapixel camera has support for up to 4K 60 frames per second video and 240 frames per second slow-motion video, giving off very crispy photos and video. Not to mention it performs very well under low light and with very little grain. The front-facing camera holds true with great colors, being 8 megapixels.
The front-facing camera is an EP with pretty good picture quality. And the microphone is very good actually. It's great.
The phone feels very premium even to just hold. It's very light and easy to hold. This is coming from somebody who uses a 4-inch phone for having small hands. It's easy to type with, browse the web, hold for watching videos, taking pictures, gaming, and will fit well in my pocket. You can name it. The construction for this phone is a definite strong point. The battery life for this phone, however, is just standard. Standalone with little use will last you 8 to 10 hours before needing to be plugged in. When being used heavily for content consumption and such, you get about 4 to 5 hours, so respectable, and again, just average battery life. For games, I went ahead and tested a game that once upon a time had me very hooked, and I went with Mortal Kombat X. Mortal Kombat X performed very well with zero lag. Normally a game like this will cause your device to heat up, and that wasn't the case for the Nexus 6P. Performed well and stayed at decent temperatures. The phone is filled with great features, but it still has fewer flaws. The volume rocker and sleep-wake buttons are both on the same side, so sometimes it can just get annoying reaching for the different buttons. It doesn't have micro SD expansion, and though it's not necessary, it's not waterproof either. But that's really it. It's a very trivial small problem, and that's only been from a week of using it. Overall, it's a great device. Now that I've said everything that needed to be said, it's time to conclude this video. The Google Pixel is definitely a very powerful phone, though with the Pixel, you lose out on a stereo speaker setup, and not to mention that by default, the 6P comes with a 2560 by 1440 resolution versus the Pixel Plus being the only one with that resolution. So no, the Pixel did not make the Nexus 6P obsolete, as even I would prefer the 6P over the Pixel. For more content, make sure to subscribe to our channel as we upload tech videos like this one regularly. For links to the Nexus 6P, we will be leaving those in the description. This has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you all next time. Enjoy!